Hi, everyone. I want to welcome you to MLS 5331 Leadership Communication. I'm your instructor. My name is Arthur Aguirre. You can call me Dr. Art, Dr. A, Dr. Aguirre. Any one of those will work, whatever you feel more comfortable with. I'm excited to get this class started, but I wanted to start by letting you all know. So I'm recording this intro to the course. Today's Friday, March 20th, and I waited this long for a couple of reasons. One, I had surgery about a week ago, and so I wanted to give myself some time to recuperate before I recorded anything. But second, and more importantly, with everything going on with the coronavirus and all the changes that are being made at UTEP and with our program, I wanted to make sure I had enough information as possible before I got on here and started kind of going over the class. Now, with all that's occurring, I really want to emphasize more than anything that all of us are going to have to be more flexible given what's going on. So for these next 8 weeks, I'm giving you all the syllabus so you know what's happening. But there might be some changes that happen as we go along. Nothing will be sudden. And more than anything, if there's going to be changes that will be made, it'll be to help you and give you more time for whatever assignments or things might be coming up, or make some adaptations if things aren't working for you all. But the key to that will be communication. So please make sure you're emailing me and letting me know if you're having any issues or if anything's going to come up. I know that when you all registered for this class, we had no idea that, exactly how crazy things would be getting in terms of people's schedules and schools closing and just everything else that's going on. So I definitely take that into consideration. I want this class to still be beneficial for you all and fruitful to you all. I know you all took this class and are in this program for a particular reason. And so my job and what I'm still hoping to do is impart whatever wisdom I have. My background is in communication. My PhD is in communication. And so my big thing is making sure that regardless of what else is going on, at the very least, I'm imparting some knowledge to you all, both from the textbook, but also bringing in some of my own background in communication theory. That said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go over the syllabus here. So I'll give you time. I'm not going to read this thing word for word. That'd be rough for all of us. But you can go ahead and read this. It's on Blackboard. All my information's up here. So for my digital office hours, I will be here Wednesdays from 1:30 to 4 and on Thursdays from 3:30 to 4:30. So feel free to log on to Skype. My username's right here. It's art.utep@gmail.com, and you can find me online. If that doesn't work for you, if you just don't like using Skype, I can also do Google Hangouts. We can do FaceTiming. If you want to hop on the phone, email, text messaging, I have my cell phone number up here as well. So whatever is easiest for you, just let me know. These are the two textbooks we'll be using. I know I had a few students email me before the class started. So we have The Secret Language of Leadership by Stephen Denning, and then we have The Engaged Leader by Charlene Lee. Now, moving on to our course requirements, it really just boils down to 4 primary assignments. The big one, and really the thing that kind of supplements the time that we would be in class, is our Blackboard discussions. So you'll have one post every single week, and what you'll need to be doing is responding to the original post by Wednesday night, and then making sure you respond to at least 3 classmates by Sunday evening. Both times on Wednesday and Sunday, it's by 11:59 p.m. that night. Now, what I'm trying to do to give you all as much time as possible is on Sundays at midnight, so essentially going from Saturday into Sunday, your new discussion board will open. So you'll have a full 4 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, to get your first post in. And then as long as other people have responded to that post, you have until the next Sunday to respond to at least 3 people. Now, I said 3 people, but if you get really engaged on one particular post and you go back and forth with someone 3 times, I'm really just looking for those 3 responses. So if you don't necessarily get to getting to 3 different classmates, that's okay. I don't want that to become like the norm where everyone's just responding on one post. But that can suffice for the 3 responses that you have to have per week. I don't give you all a word limit. We're all adults, and because I'm emphasizing the fact that this is really supplementing our time in class, I just want to make sure that you're responding in a sufficient manner, one, to the original post, but also really importantly to the secondary post, to your responses. It can't just be like, yeah, that's a great post, I agree. Really try to take some time and some thought and give some feedback to your classmates, maybe ask an engaging question to keep the conversation going. I'll be doing the same thing. The next big assignment you'll be having is the video leadership demonstration. So essentially, the easiest way of describing this is if this class was in an in-person or face-to-face, classroom session. Within the first couple of weeks of class, each student would sign up to present during one of the weeks in the semester, and essentially they would get the readings for that day or some of the readings from that day, and they would present it to the class and essentially lead the class that week. So that's what I want you to do with these video leadership demonstrations. So pick any section of the book, and even they're due about midway through the semester, but you can get any section of either book, even if we haven't covered it yet, and then you're responsible for presenting a 12-minute leadership facilitation to the class. So I've seen students do a number of different things, and I want to give you some specifics on it. I'm not expecting anyone to be like a videographer. I have some students that all they do is they pull out their cell phone and they just talk about the different aspects of the reading that they want to focus on. That is completely fine. I have seen some students who do have a background in videography and they get all into it and they make a full 12-minute presentation using all sorts of things. And then I've had some students that really get creative. I have some folks who are deployed and they're still taking this class, and they'll get some friends to participate. It is really up to you however you want to lead that discussion. Similarly, like when I'm in my face-to-face classes, I have some students who maybe just pull up a PowerPoint and they kind of just read it to the class. I know that's not usually the most engaging way of presenting the information, but that's what they feel comfortable doing, and that's okay. And then I have other students where they may present a few things here and there, and then they play a game so everyone can get a better understanding of some of the topics or strategies or techniques that they're going over in the reading. So it's really up to you on what you want to do for that video leadership demonstration. The next one is class participation, and that's really kind of helps buttress everything else that we're doing. So whether it's your discussion posts, your video leadership demonstration, it really is just, it should be an easy 100 points for everybody unless you're not engaging at all. And then lastly, and most importantly, is your final paper, which is worth 300 points. It's an 8 to 10 page essay due at the very end of the semester. And this is the way I like explaining it. Essentially, you should be writing this in about 3 parts. So the first part, all I want you to do is talk about either a leadership or communication theory, something from this textbook, or something I've posted online, because I have articles online. And I also, because it is a leadership communication class, I was able to find a free version of a communication theory textbook, and I put it up on our Blackboard page. So you can get any theory from that communication theory book. You can get a strategy from Denning. You can get something from Lee. And in the first section of your paper, you're just talking about that theory. Then what you're going to do is find something that you're going to use to explain that theory or strategy. And then in the third paper, you're going to make sense of it by applying the theory to that thing that you selected. So I'll give you an example. So oftentimes, my mom will ask me, what I'm researching on or what I'm currently up to date doing in terms of research. And I'll explain some theory to her, and then she'll look at me like she has no idea what I'm talking about. And so even though I've given her kind of like the academic explanation of the theory, she's still like, okay, well, help me understand better. So I'll say, how you love Grey's Anatomy? Well, in Grey's Anatomy, when this doctor and his wife, or this doctor and her husband, or however it may go, when they fight about this, or whenever this happened between these two doctors, or this happened between this doctor and this nurse, and this escalated into this kind of conflict. Well, according to this theory, if they would have done X, Y, and Z, things would have been resolved better, right? Or, how they, have this type of process in that hospital. This theorist argues that this is a better way of, applying leadership to your team, right? It's just a way of making sure your audience can understand the theory in a different way, kind of giving a life application aspect to the theory. And that's what I'm asking you to do with your paper. So you choose a theory or a concept. Then you choose what we call like an artifact. So it could be a TV show, a song, it could be a speech, it could be any actual, like you do a case study of some kind, and then you explain that artifact using that theory, or you apply that theory to that artifact. So that's what you're doing with that paper. So outside of that, those are your 4 major assignments. Like I said, over here, in terms of the policies, a lot of it's pretty self-explanatory. Please make sure you never plagiarize in this class. You shouldn't feel a need to do that. I really do want to make myself available to you all as much as possible. I know a lot of us are pretty much stuck in our homes at this point. So if you ever have any issues or you have any questions, just shoot me an email. We can get everything taken care of. Student-teacher communication. So I know I've already said it a couple times that I'm here for you all for whatever you need, but please make sure if you are struggling that you come to me as quickly as possible. If you're not understanding something that we're doing, if you want some clarification about some of the assignments, get to me as soon as possible because there's only so much I can do if you wait to the last minute. In terms of etiquette for online discussions, like I said, I'll let you all read through that, but essentially it kind of boils down to is making sure you're treating people with respect, right? It's one thing to engage with ideas and argue ideas. It's another thing to put people down. So just make sure you're being respectful on those online discussions. Here is a grading scale. It's pretty easy. And this is our course schedule. So as you can tell, you have your Blackboard assignments every single week. You have your leadership demo due on Sunday, and I'll clarify this before I upload it. I'm about to upload it over the weekend. But this would be the Sunday after the 13th. So this wouldn't be the 12th. This would be the 19th, okay? Sunday the 19th here is when your leadership demo is due. And then your final paper here, and I'm sorry for this typo here, this would be due on May 17th. So for a lot of you all, or for all of you, that'll be right at the end of the semester. But that's pretty much it. I didn't put exactly what I'll be doing every week. I will be uploading lectures, but my plan at this point, because so many people are stuck at home, is I'm going to reach out to some of my colleagues, both academic and non-academic, and try to upload some interviews as well, people who are in some leadership positions, and just try to do as much as I can to make this course as fruitful as possible, really supplement the time that we're not going to be in class together. But that's pretty much it. I also have a rubric here in case you want to wonder, if you're curious how I grade your writing, both in your discussion boards, but also for your final paper. But that's it. You can look out for my lectures. My first one will be uploaded next week. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm excited for this semester. I know it's a crazy block because of everything that's going on, but I am eager and excited to get into this. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. But that's all I got for right now, and you'll hear from me next week.